Ba-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it. All right, so the video that you've been waiting for, everyone wants to know, how much money can you make owning a McDonald's? How much do they cost to open? Is McDonald's a good investment? And you've probably seen the movie that most of us have seen around the background of McDonald's and how they get started. If you didn't, well, you're in luck, because in this video, we are going to talk about how much money McDonald's franchise locations make, how much they cost to get open, what are the sort of fees and royalties that the McDonald's franchisees are paying, and the way that McDonald's actually makes a lot of its money that you probably don't know about. So let's go ahead and let's dive in. If you're new here, my name is Tarek Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of Franchise Empire, where we have helped hundreds of individuals find, vet, buy, and launch proven money-making franchises. So before we dive into how much money McDonald's locations are making, how much they cost to get open, let's talk about how they even got started, because the background is pretty interesting. So in 1940, two brothers in San Bernardino, California were running a drive-in barbecue spot, but it didn't work out. It wasn't a gold mine. They had to shut it down, and they actually reopened with a stripped-down menu, burgers, fries, and shakes in a kitchen that could pump out food in about 30 to 60 seconds. Now, this was really revolutionary at the time and kind of really produced the modern fast food in the way that we know it now. But there's a lesson here for those of you who maybe own a business or thinking about starting a business, which is their first thing failed. Guys, their first attempt failed, but they picked themselves up, they figured out what they did wrong, they pivoted, and they opened up another business. So that's a lesson for all of us, is that if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try it again. If you know where that is from, what song that's from, drop it in the comments. In 1954, a milkshake machine salesman named, you guessed it, Ray Kroc, visited one of the McDonald's to sell his machines to. And he was blown away, not just by the food, but the system. And when you watch the movie The Founder, he saw the potential to turn it into a nationwide chain, which leads to the famous clip in that movie of him going, franchise, franchise,
franchise, franchise, franchise, franchise.
And so, lo and behold, the first McDonald's opened under Ray Kroc in 1955 in Des Plaines, Illinois. And so by 1961, Ray Kroc, a little old milkshake machine salesman, he bought out the brothers for $2.7 million and bought the whole brand. Here's what's crazy, guys. $2.7 million in 1961 is equivalent today in 2025 to about $29.4 million. Imagine that, buying a business for almost $30 million, but growing it into a multi-billion-dollar empire. I mean, really quite impressive, and shows the vision that Ray Kroc had in the opportunity, and took a bold risk, and it worked. And really the rest is history. You know, the brand went global. They're all over the world, and they serve different products in different markets, right? So when you hear franchise brands say their concept works everywhere and they don't have to adjust their model, I hate when franchisors say that. You may have to make adjustments in markets, even within the US. Different markets operate differently, right? So that's a great question to ask franchisors and see how they support franchisees when you're doing your own due diligence around a franchise. But as an example, they got mixed spaghetti in the Philippines, they got shrimp burgers in Japan, and poutine in Canada, which I had to even look up how to pronounce it and what the heck that even is. But here's what's cool. Actually, I'm here in Orlando, and Orlando is home to the largest McDonald's franchise, I believe, in the world, 100% in the US, and they serve all sorts of crazy and interesting food there. They had pizza, they had spaghetti. Now, if I'm in the mood for spaghetti, I'm probably not going to McDonald's, but hey, you know, to each his own. McDonald's has been innovating, you know, ever since they got open in 1979. They dropped the Happy Meal, turning a simple kids combo into one of the most successful marketing moves in fast food history. So this leads to the question, how does McDonald's actually make their money? How much do their locations cost to get open and how much are they making? Is it actually a good investment? Well, here's what's crazy. McDonald's is actually one of the world's largest real estate holding companies. A huge part of their business model is they go in and they buy the real estate. They buy very prominent real estate and then they rent it to their franchisees. So about 38% of their total revenue comes from the rent that they charge franchisees. Analysts estimate that McDonald's real estate portfolio is worth over $30 billion, just the real estate. Now, as of today, McDonald's has over 38,000 locations open in over 100 countries, and approximately 93 of McDonald's restaurants worldwide are owned and operated by franchisees. So only 7% of their locations are actually corporate-owned locations. That's a little bit less than 3,000 locations. All right, fun fact and trivia. Let's see if you guys can get this right. The first person to get it right, we will send you a Franchise Empire t-shirt. Failure is not an option, or we'll send you the Building My Empire one, your choice. So we'll do a giveaway, first person to drop the right answer, and no cheating, guys, seriously. All right, which US state is the only one without a McDonald's restaurant? I actually don't know the answer to this, so I'm just as curious as you are. Now, in terms of startup costs, you're thinking, all right, how much do these cost to open? The total investment for a McDonald's location ranges from $1.47 million to $2.7 million. And in terms of a marketing fee, it's 4% of gross sales, and their royalty is between 4 to 5% of their gross sales. But again, keep in mind, that is just a portion of how McDonald's is making their money. They're typically charging franchisees between 8 to 15% of their total sales in rent, the cost of rent for those locations. By the way, if you're finding this video helpful and you think this information is informative and entertaining, then give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. And while you're down there, you can go grab for free gift to you, our 5 low-cost franchises that are proven by data that with franchisees that are making $1 million or more in revenue. You can grab that at the link below or go to franchiseempire.com/low cost. All right, so in terms of earnings, what are the average sales of a McDonald's franchise? Well, the average sales of a traditional McDonald's restaurant. So traditional restaurant is typically like a freestanding location that you'll see in a shopping center or just normally going around and about. A non-traditional franchise location is one that you'd see in, let's say, an airport or on a college campus or, in a mall. Those are what's considered non-traditional franchise locations. So for the traditional locations that have been open at least 1 year as of December 31st, 2024 was $4,002,000. So just over $4 million during 2024. The lowest performing McDonald's location did only $914,000 in sales. Those are from the traditional performing locations. And the top performing McDonald's restaurant did over $19 million in sales, which is pretty wild. But their average of $4 million is still not as high as, can you guess? What brand has the highest average sales in the fast food space? It's Chick-fil-A. They have the highest average sales in that space. And I'm pretty sure we've made a video on them, about them, and how much money their locations make. We'll drop that link below somewhere if you want to go check that out as well. So the answer to the trivia is there is a McDonald's in every state. It was a trick question. There is a McDonald's everywhere. So I wonder if you got it right. Anyways, if you enjoy these videos, if you're entertained, if you feel educated and informed, make sure you subscribe below to not miss out on all the other breakdowns like we do of the biggest franchise brands that you see every day and drive by and probably wonder how much money do they make, how much do they cost to get open, and right here you can watch one on KFC if you're interested in that. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. See you later.